they kind of like, oh, hi, what are you doing in Korea? Oh, I'm just an English teacher. You know, like I didn't discriminate anything. I just
Yeah,
asked
they're
you a
like,
question.
just English.
Just English teacher. It's like,
Yeah. Let's move on to your career now.
Sure.
When did you come back to living in Korea,
Yeah.
and what have you been doing in Korea right now?
So I came back after I graduated and I did the military thing. And then one of the first jobs that I got was an English teacher. It was good money, and like, you know, I'm pretty good at teaching and communicating and everything. So I climbed up the ladder in that arena, and then my last job in the English education industry was teaching TOEFL and like TOEIC speaking. So I was one of those guys on like the bus ads, like going like,
Oh snap!
like learn this.
With your glasses, you're like,
Yes. Yes.
that's so cool.
Yes. So it was good money. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you know, yeah, it was good money, good experience. So I did that for a good like 5 years, 5-6 years, teaching TOEFL to adults, helping them like, you know, get good scores on it basically. It was good. But then I also knew that it wouldn't last forever, because it's a gig, it's a job, but it's not a career per se. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure you know, and a lot of the people who's watching this knows as well, you know, teaching English usually like goes until so far. Like you rarely see any like 55-year-old people, like 50-year-old people teaching English in like Korean academies and stuff.
Oh,
Like by the
I've
time
seen
you're
that,
like 35-ish, like you kind of get like kicked out by younger and like, you know,
More
younger, more
newer
and
teachers.
and going back to the English teacher thing, and cheaper labor, because
Ooh.
yes, because there's a
Facts.
yes, because there's a limit to how good English teaching can be, I think, as well,
Yeah.
to be on their side. So I also know as a fact around like $3,500, which is like 3.5 million Korean won, is kind of the max, or like 4 million is the kind of the max that anybody can hit when you're teaching English in like smaller academies. You know, or like one-to-one business like English as well.
Yeah.
So you can't, rarely do you hit like 5 million, which is like 5,000, like $6,000, unless you take on managerial roles or research roles as well. And then naturally, like by the time you hit like, that's good money when you're like 25, 24, like 29,
Yeah.
but that's not enough money to start a family. And like after you're 35-ish, okay, like, you know, girls and guys, they get married, and like, and like you kind of realize, it hits you like, oh damn, like my company doesn't pay more than like $3,500,
Yeah.
like ever. And I'm very replaceable by like younger kids who are like right off of college, and for the hot one as well, I might as well pay this younger guy 3,000 or 2,000, 5,000 like cheaper money instead of this older guy or girl. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah, anybody is replaceable.
yes. So anyway, so I did the English thing for a good 5 years, and then I quit my job, and then I started with a partner. I started a company called W Coding, and it's a boot camp that teaches programming in English to in Korea, online and offline. And then we also help them get jobs, and that's why kind of I'm really interested in the non-Korean foreigner like circles and like ecosystem and like stuff as well, because we also help them as much as we can to get jobs and start their careers in Korea in tech
Yeah.
as well.
Okay.
Because also for the viewers who are like, you know, interested in Korea and like wanting to start a career in Korea, because it's not easy for anybody with like, for example, a business administration degree or like a political science degree to get a job in a host country basically, because it's not very you're not as competitive
Yeah.
as the locals in that country.
Yeah.
So this is nothing. I think all countries are similar to a degree. I know for a fact that even with America and like Japan is pretty much similar. So unless you have like tangible skills, it can be art, it can be singing, it can be
Yeah.
ice skating, but mostly, you know, those are very, very niche. So mostly it's to do with like digital marketing or being a programmer or like digital like designer or something like that. So if you have like tangible like IT skills, it's easier for those people to get jobs in a host country basically. And they have like, even the visa system, I'm pretty sure you know,
Oof.
they have much wider categories for tech people.
Technology, yeah.
Engineers or like master's degree in
Yes.
technologies, hardware, software. So that's where we kind of fit in. So we have a lot of like students who are, as I said, teaching English in Korea for like 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and then they hit 30, and then they're like, oh, damn, I can't teach English forever. So quite a lot of English teachers come to our school. Quite a lot of foreigners who are like, oh, you know, I want to enjoy Korea, see Korea, but I also want to learn something.
Yeah.
They come to our school. And we help, and it's relatively, comparatively easier compared to people without any tech knowledge to get jobs in Korea, because not only they don't have to become like professional or programmers, but also the younger companies which are more inclined to hire non-Korean people, they tend to be tech oriented as well, because their newer companies are usually tech.
Yeah. It's like a lot of startups. So.
Yeah, startups and everything. And younger CEOs in younger companies, they're the higher chance it is that they are very international too, compared to like Korean people who are like 50 and 60.
Yeah,
with
like a little older.
older companies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we kind of try to do at my school as well. And also during that course, I get to meet a lot of entrepreneurs, like forward entrepreneurs in Korea. I was also one of the judges for the K Korea Grand Startup Challenge last year.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Somebody has talked about that on this channel before.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you know Chris. You know Chris?
Chris, yes, I know. Yes.
Okay,
The
yeah,
guy,
he talked
yes,
about it.
I was in the same program with him as well. Yeah, the guy with the kind of longer hair, with the glasses. No?
No.
No? Okay.
He's Chris from He Made.
Yes.
He's the one.
Yes.
Oh, is it the same guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he does not have long hair.
Oh, no, he
anymore.
was. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I guess that was before.
Yeah.
Okay, that Chris, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Life is a full circle.
Yeah.
He's talked about that program too.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that program?
It's
do you think it's helpful?
It's a government-run program, so that is only open for non-Korean entrepreneurs. So I mean, you can have a Korean in the team,
Yeah.
but you need at least one foreigner, like non-Korean person, in your company officially, on the books and everything. But I think it's run by Gyeonggi-do, so it's not run by Seoul, but it's one of the provinces outside
Oh,
of
snap, Gyeonggi-do.
Gyeonggi-do. So it's run in Pangyo, so it's kind of the Silicon Valley of Korea. Well, as they want to be.
Oh yeah, I've heard that so many times.
Yes.
They want to.
Like Naver is there, and all the kind of
Yeah.
tech companies are there.
Yeah.
But so
And you were a judge for them. That's awesome.
yeah, so I think they invite about 100 to 120 or something like that, and they give them like office space. They give them a little money, and they even gave them at least last year or 2 years ago. They gave them a little bit of like moving fees and everything, like to
Oh,
get
snap.
yeah, a couple of $100 per month just to use on your
wow.
rent and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and then their sole objective is to have as much, like, grow the international startup ecosystem bigger, and also incentivize foreigners to like branch out or sell their stuff or incorporate themselves in Korea. So I think it's a pretty good program.
Seems like it's growing too.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, it's
It's
growing.
been multiple years, right?
Yeah,
that
it's
they've
been about
doing it.
2-3 years, I think.
Yeah.
I think I know they're in the process of promoting their next batch for next year, I think. So if you guys are interested, I mean, I don't work for them, but like Korea Grand Startup Challenge, like
Are you still? Do you think you're still going to be
oh,
judging?
I don't know. I mean, maybe they might call me, or I don't know. Maybe I
Okay.
don't know.
Let
Yeah,
me
we'll
let me make a company real quick. I'll talk to you.
see. Yeah.
I have a connection, guys.
Yes.
Let me go make this company real
Yes.
quick.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of international entrepreneurs in Korea.
How is that space, like the international entrepreneur space?
So my company as well, W Coding, we were incubated like in the very early stages in an incubating center called the Seoul Global Startup Center. It was similar thing. They gave about like $10,000 to $20,000, which is good money.
That's great
And
money.
they give you free office space for like
Oh,
3
that's-
people, 4 people, 5 people, right in
Wow,
Yongsan.
yeah.
But now it's closed. But
Yeah.
sadly.
Damn it.
But yeah, a lot of the people that I met there, for example, I'm pretty sure you know Shuttle, the company Shuttle.
Is that a delivery service?
Delivery
Oh, okay.
service.
I do
yeah,
know it.
Shuttle.
Yeah.
They were incubated in the similar era as
wow.
we were about
Yeah.
like 6 years ago. I know they're pretty big in like the Itaewon area and also in the what do you call it, the military area.
The military zones, yeah.
They're pretty big. Another company that I know, like this Austrian founder, Packative, they make customized like packaging. So you can go on Packative and then just make your own box, like design your own box and have it delivered, for example,
Oh, snap.
for special occasions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
First of
anyway,
all,
there's
you're
a
just
lot of
advertising these.
yeah. So there's a lot of like
Yeah.
there should be more, but there's still quite a lot of interest in, and there should be more like interest in foreigners wanting to open shop in Korea, and like because we're genuinely we're a good size, and obviously but the tech adaptability level is very fast in Korea. So everybody's on their smartphones, and if there's new apps out
True.
there, better services out there, the people are very inclined to test it out. So you get results pretty fast.
Yeah.
So if you have a niche kind of idea about something that you can bring to the table, it's a good test bed, I think, to test your ideas. And there are various benefits. I mean,
There's a lot of
programs
benefits
and
from
stuff.
what you just
Yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
And it's comparatively like less competitive compared to like the Korean like the grant programs, because there's so much Koreans and less
There's a
foreigners in
lot
Korea.
of Koreans for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, I was curious about this when you were talking. How did your interest come from like teaching English to politics to coding to startups?
It
How was
just
that?
happened kind of organically, I guess. I mean, it's not like I wake up in the morning and was like, oh yes, today is coding.
Coding.
No, I
Yeah.
have a very good co-founder whom I met in Belgium actually, and he was in Korea. He was kind of trying to find what he wants to do as well in his like latter part of his life as well. And he, and I was the same. I quit my job as an English teacher,
Yeah.
kind of cold turkey, and then I was talking to him and he's like, oh, you come from tech. And I come from education as well, so why don't we try to make a software education
Collaboration.
company also? But we also do like software consulting as well. So we make like apps and like MVPs like for smaller like baby startups, helping them kind of kick it off basically. So
Okay, interesting. Do you think you found the career that you want to keep going through with, or
I don't
are
know.
you still discovering?
Yeah, still discovering. I'm not like the youngest guy in the block, but still I'm kind of discovering what I want to do, but not only what I want to do, but where I can kind of utilize and sell my skills in an industry that I like the most and I'm the best at. Yes.
I think you're doing a great job. You're really jumping markets, and it seems to be working for you.
I don't know. I'm just trying to find out what I like the most.
What's
I
the
guess.
best out there? I'm a believer in not staying in the same lane.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a believer in
yeah.
touching every little lane.
How did
that
you become
see.
interested in?
Not you interviewing me. In modeling? Is that what you're gonna ask?
No. But not only in modeling, but from like political science, like
Yeah, I also
to
jumped.
the entertainment not only modeling, but the entertainment industry.
I jumped a lot. And now I'm doing like acting, TV. I do everything.
Yeah.
I think the political science thing was, I got a little bit turned off by it because Trump was president at the time and I was not a fan. And I was just going to school with like kids who are huge Trump supporters. And I was just like, I was over that climate.
Okay.
So I came to study abroad in Yonsei, and that's when I was scouted by my first agency.
Uh-huh.
And it was kind of like, well, I do have my degree now, so I want to try something a little different.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't ready to be stuck in an office.
Yeah.
Like just this
Yeah.
right now, it was just not for me.
Yeah.
So I ended up I ended up coming back, discovering it. I ended up liking it, and I've been doing it for a while now. I do crave, what is it called? Not job safety. What is it called?
Stability. or,
Stability. There we go. I
like,
do.
money coming into your bank account every 10
Yes,
Yeah.
that's like something I've started craving a little bit
Sure.
more, because being a freelancer or just
Yeah.
being like in the entertainment industry, it's not stable.
Yeah, it's not stable.
It's never going to be
Yeah,
stable.
never.
Yeah, so that's something I've been thinking about a little bit more. Like the older that I get, the more I do crave
Yes.
stability. It's like the
Everybody.
English teacher thing you were
Yeah.
saying. The older you get, you're like, this money is not
Yeah.
enough right now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because you have more responsibilities
Yeah.
as an adult,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I want to move up in life. I don't want to
Yeah.
be stuck in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
same line.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's me now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always thinking of what's next.
Yeah.
It's like a thing that I do.
I think it kind of life kind of brings it to you. You don't like, of course, every day you make decisions like small,
Yeah.
big, and then that decision gears your life into like slightly that way or slightly this way.
Facts.
So you just gotta try to make not the best, but try to make the most sincere and the most like honest decision that you could have, and those decisions build up and kind of gives you like bigger decisions that
That's
kind of
true.
come to you.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
it's almost like a waiting game at some point.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's a waiting and research game because you do have to look for stuff yourself at
That's true.
times.
Yeah.
But usually it's just like a right moment.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta
Yeah.
be patient, I
Yeah.
guess you could say.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to say about your career before I ask you another question that has nothing to do with your career?
Oh, actually, I do want to talk about a little bit more about startups
Ooh,
and
let's talk
like
about it.
visa and stuff.
Yeah.
Because one way to, because I'm guessing quite a lot of the audience, your audiences,
Mm-hmm.
are interested in like not only like traveling in Korea, but also
Living here,
maybe
working
living here
here,
for
yeah.
working here and stuff.
Yeah.
So as I said, of course, there's a route of becoming like teaching English, but that's usually not like too long of a career. And it's a kind of a rabbit hole as well, where like you go into it, and then it's difficult to kind of pull yourself out. And another thing is obviously trying to get employed by a company. And as I kind of mentioned, it's not the only way, but it is better if you have some kind of tangible and usually like kind of tech skills, especially. I told you about that as well. And number 3 is like starting up your own company in Korea and applying for I forgot the exact visa name, but it's like a D8 4 visa or something like that. So it's a visa where the Korean government. I also know if you are above the top 20 contestants for the Korean Grand Startup Challenge,
Yeah.
like that visa is also you get extra points for the visa as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also like visa. I do a lot of visa consulting as well, for foreigners, and I sometimes tell them like because if you it's not too easy in this climate and age, not only in Korea but everywhere else in the world. It's not too easy to get employed nowadays. So rather than going through the route of trying to get the E7, which is a specialist visa, as I say, maybe it's better to just like try to skip that level and jump yourself to the F5 visa. Is it?
Which one is that? The
The
residential
residential
visa?
visa.
Oh, yeah,
F2
yeah, yeah.
visa? F5
I think it's
visa?
an F2, if I'm
F2
not
visa,
wrong.
yes.
Yeah.
You need your Korean. You need to learn Korean. You need to have you usually need to have a college degree,
Yeah.
if not relevant work experience.
Yeah.
And also you need to take your KIIP, I think. Have
Oh,
you
I
taken
took
it?
that, yeah.
Yes.
Because I
KIIP.
tried to apply for it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you need an income, a previous year's official income, reported to the Korean government of higher than 30,000 Korean.
Yeah.
30
Look at you,
million
pal.
Korean
30
won.
million.
30
Not
million.
30,000.
Not 30,000. 30 million.
They're not
Korean
taking you
won.
serious with
Yes.
that. Yeah, 30 million Korean won.
Yes,
And
yes.
what was another thing that they had? I think another one is if you went to a college that's like top,
Higher, top 500.
Is it 500?
I think 500 in the world though.
What did no, sorry, I thought it was 200 actually.
200? A couple of hundred,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, I think maybe it's higher if it's
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
if it's a top
Yeah.
college, you do
Yeah.
get points
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
There's another one. I think if you studied a certain thing, it's points. I don't know. There's like a lot of ways to get points, but it's pretty hard to still get points. Like
Yeah.
it's not easy to
Yeah.
get points for that visa for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another way you can get visa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want you to talk to us about it because I don't.
Oh, so
I feel like I'm finishing some of your thoughts before you finish
so
them.
it's called the Oasis program, and you need higher than 80 points to even apply for the longer residency visa.
Yeah.
And as I said, you need past year's income of higher than 30 million Korean won, which is not too difficult. I mean, not even, but if you're an English teacher, for example,
Yeah.
like you usually earn more than 30 million Korean won, which is equivalent to around like 30,000 US dollars, well, excluding the currency exchange rate.
Yeah.
But and also you need to learn Korean though, because that constitutes about like 10% to 20% of the 100 points.
It's a huge
It's a
percentage.
huge thing. So so you need at least level like TOPIK level 4, I think, right?
I think level 3
Level
is like
3,
when you
right?
can really
Yes.
put your foot in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it's a 4, like
Even better.
you get better. 5,
like you get more points as you are higher.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's a full like 20 points right there, and then your official formal education is around like 10 points as well. So as I said, your formal education, if you have a master's, you get more points. If you have a
more points.
doctorate, you get
Even
more
more
points.
points.
And then you need to do your Korean. You need to do your TOPIK, which is your Korean level, and then you need to do your KIIP. which is a Korean social integration something tests. So you need to learn about Korea itself as well. And but those courses, if I remember correctly, those are free online as well. So you can take them and you can take the tests for free.
Yeah.
And then it's the last year's income. Yeah, so kind of a mixture of those four things. And then the tier lower than that is the E7 visa, which is a specialist visa, which you need a sponsor basically. Like you need to have a company that is willing to hire you. But the Korean Immigration Office is not that kind and generous to like foreigners. Why are your eyes so big?
Because it's true. They will be like, "Who's your?" They ask so many questions in immigration. It's crazy.
Even for me,
Yeah.
I hired a French girl as a coding teacher like a long time ago, and then she didn't have she had a master's degree, but in economics. But the immigration office lady was like, "Why does this girl do coding if she majored in economics?" I'm like, did you literally like major in public administration? Do all of you have public
Yeah.
administration like
Yeah.
degrees? Like, no.
They're so strict.
Yeah.
They're super strict.
And then they're like, okay, we understand your company teaches English. I'm coding in English, so that's why you need a coding teacher.
Yeah.
But how does this French girl speak English? Does she have a TOEFL exam? Does she have a TOEIC exam like
Yeah.
results? I'm like, you know, like
It's a lot.
It's like, oh my god, like,
It's a lot. Immigration is, and it's not only in Korea. Even in
Yeah.
the States, I've heard
Yeah.
how like how harsh immigration
Yeah.
can be.
So I mean, I get no country should just like
Let people
blindly
in.
let everybody
Come
in.
in.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's a given. You should as a country you should try to have good like productive and like not good people like in general as,
Yeah.
as much as possible. That I agree with, but I don't know. But as you guys may know, the Korean population is decreasing like crazy. Nobody's having babies, so it is kind of evident that we need to kind of fasten the process or
And be
like
more
lower the bar
welcoming.
a little bit,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's
Those
another
are some
thing.
ways.
But yeah, Korea is a fun place too, I guess. Yeah.
Seems great for like new business owners, entrepreneurs. It seems like a great environment, especially if it's technology.
Yeah.
Like you guys need to come over if you're doing tech in another country and you're looking to change paces. Korea's got you.
Yeah.
Sign up for that grant. And giving people money out here,
Yeah.
guys. Let's talk about you now being in Korea, but also being in the foreign space because you do have a lot of foreigners around you,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How has that been for you? Like, because I'm guessing you have heard the complaints that foreigners
Of
who are
course.
living in Korea
Of course.
go through.
Yeah.
What's one complaint that you've heard? And two is like, what advice do you give your foreign friends who are living in Korea who may be having a hard time?
A foreigner in any hosting country, not never, but like it's very difficult to become like 100% like the local. Like I mean that's just the way it is. I think because you're different.
Yeah.
Like culturally you don't understand. And I'm not saying only for foreigners in Korea, but as I said, me living
Yeah.
in Belgium as well, I just figured it's impossible for me to become Belgian, like I only live in that country for like 5-6 years and
Yeah.
I won't be able to understand their culture, their etiquettes, their small like whatever friendships and everything. So like don't be too kind of what do you call it, like discouraged or like disappointed or like just it is what it is, and you're kind of living, try to get the most of it, but kind of do accept the fact that we are living in this country for a shorter amount of time, and yeah, but try to get the most of it. I think that was kind of strange, but yeah.
No, I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Try to get the most of it.
Yeah.
This is what Kyle was
Yeah.
saying. What is what is the top complaint that you hear?
Visas, yeah.
The visas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Actually.
Visas, yeah.
I don't know. I said it like I'm shocked.
Yeah,
Of
visas,
course.
yeah.
Of course, visas are hard.
Yeah, because most, if not most, not all, but most people who are like studying in Korea, because as you know, there's a ton of international students in Korea, because even business-wise, like there's not enough human beings like Koreans to fill in universities nowadays. So
Oh.
yeah. So actually, a lot of our students and a lot of the younger people, like college people that I know, they get a lot of like benefits like scholarships and stuff, and in like many universities because universities, some universities like they're all in on like trying to recruit foreigners to Korea. So for people who are interested in getting education in Korea, it could be interesting.
Seems like they're getting more open to having foreign students now.
There's a lot of Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan,
Yeah.
a lot of the Stan countries and like Central European countries as well. Lots from like South America. So quite a lot of people are coming to Korea because of because of Blackpink and BTS, but also for relatively cheaper education with the benefits that the
Compared
Korean
to-
government
yeah.
are giving out.
Yeah, education here is definitely cheaper as an American.
Yes, yes,
because
yes.
whew,
Yes.
college in America is
Yes,
expensive. It's
Exactly, exactly,
So expensive. It's so expensive.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
And the living expenses are relatively cheaper, I guess. I don't know. compared
it's
to
getting
Singapore.
more expensive these days.
It is. Have you
Korea
felt
is
it?
getting yes.
Yes, it is, right?
I went to buy
It's crazy, right?
tomatoes.
I think it
Tomatoes
happened like
used to be like 6,000 to 8,000.
it's crazy now.
13 to 14,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
But seriously.
What is going on with Korea?
I went to this is a like random topic, but
Yeah.
like I because when I used to live in Belgium, this is as I said like what 15, 20 years ago, like we couldn't buy stuff because like I mean of course we could buy stuff, but
Yeah.
like my mom had to like really count the money because everything was so expensive in Western Europe back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
But and my little sister, she lives in England. She's been there for like the past 25 years, and then I visit her like every 2 years and stuff. And then I go to London, and when I was in London like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it's like a tomato is like $10. But now, like last year, I went to see her, and then I went to like Sainsbury's and like their like their grocery store.
Yeah.
Everything's so cheap compared to Korea. Like the samgyeopsal thing
Yeah.
in Korea is like 만원, 12,000. It starts from like $10.
Yeah.
Like $10 to $20. But like the groceries and like the what do you call it, commodities, they are very very more expensive in Korea. I think.
Korea has gotten, because as you were saying, like Korea, when I first came, I used to be like, oh, it's so cheap. Like food is cheap. Like, oh, I can cook every day and I don't feel like I'm being set back like financially. These days, it seems cheaper to just buy a meal outside than cook.
It is.
Groceries, you will buy 3 things at Emart. Yeah, Emart, I'm calling y'all out. I love y'all, but I'm calling y'all out. You'll buy like 3 things at Emart, 100.
Oh,
100,000 just
Seriously?
gone. And you're just like,
so expensive.
this used to be like 50K back in the day. Like, what's going on?
So
Like,
expensive.
it's-
Because they portion it out, like the minimum portion is larger, I guess. I don't know. But
I don't
everything is
get
so
it.
expensive.
Even the meat has gone
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Fruit. Well, fruit was always expensive in Korea.
It's always expensive.
That never gets cheap in Korea. But even veggies now
Yeah,
are more
yeah.
expensive.
But one tip is like nowadays, I mean, use coupon.
Coupang like eats, not eats,
No,
sorry.
just coupon
Fresh?
groceries.
Fresh, okay.
Yeah.
Coupang fresh.
Because even yesterday I was comparing. I wanted to have some like salmon, so I went to
Yum.
I went to
Stop.
Lotte Mart,
Yeah.
and it's like for example like $30. Like it was literally like $25 or $30 for like 300 like 500 grams or something like that.
Yeah.
So I instantly go on coupon and it's like 50% cheaper. But then I just have to plan. Oh,
Yeah.
will I want to have salmon like tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Will I
Tomorrow
wait
morning?
till tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can't make the instantaneous decision.
Listen.
But if you're planned and like if coupon, you can save quite a lot of money.
I
Definitely.
literally will walk around the grocery store with my Coupang fresh
Yes.
on.
Yes,
And I'll
yes.
just be like, especially because there's a certain milk that I buy that is always cheaper on Coupang fresh.
What is it? What's the
It's like the organic one.
Oh.
Because I can't drink normal milk in Korea because the acne that I get after
I
drinking.
know. Oh,
It has to
acne?
be organic. Yeah, I get.
Interesting.
I'm not lactose intolerant or anything. It's just I get a lot of acne from
And
normal.
how did you
milk.
find out it's the milk?
So it's dairy products in
Okay,
Korea.
okay.
The first time I came, like maybe I would always have breakouts. So I cut out milk and I was like, oh, my skin got better. And then I started drinking organic milk and I didn't have the same reaction. But organic milk in Korea is almost like double to triple the price of a normal like thing of milk. But I'm willing to spend because I can't live without milk.
Oh, okay.
Ew, that sounds gross. It is what it is. But it's so much more expensive in the grocery store than Coupang Fresh. Like Coupang Fresh tends to have deals too. Like they'll have a lot of things on sale.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're shopping in Korea, have your Coupang Fresh
Yes,
open and typing stuff in.
Yes, definitely. I always do that.
Yeah, because it will be at
Yeah,
your
you'll
door.
be at your door at
by-
7 a.m. in the morning
yeah,
anyway.
and by the time you wake up in the morning, it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
I mean, I don't know if you're still gonna want the salmon the next day. Do you say salmon or salmon?
Isn't it salmon? Is it salmon?
I don't like you. A lot of people say it's salmon, but I think it's salmon. My friend is like, it's salmon. I'm
Because
like,
I was an English teacher, so it was in my job to like
wow,
really.
so you're saying I'm wrong?
No. So I searched on like whatever Google or whatever.
Yeah.
But they had different like
Yeah.
opinions. Oh, it's
Salmon.
salmon. It's salmon.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it like a
Because it's like
European thing?
calm,
Yeah.
like where you don't pronounce the L.
Calm.
Calm, you know.
Salmon.
Salmon.
Why
so
do
you should do it like
Salmon.
C-A, like S-A-U,
Salmon.
salmon. But I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know where I got that from because my friends, all my American friends say
Salmon.
salmon.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So I used to say salmon as well.
I say salmon.
Yeah.
No, all Americans say salmon.
Salmon?
They don't say the L.
Really?
Yeah, I say salmon.
Interesting.
I know there's some Americans who are like, I say the L.
Is
I
it
like
more
you.
posh or like?
Salmon?
Is
I
it
don't
like-
know.
It's like mixing French and English. You know what I mean? Like, is it?
Maybe it's like a British thing.
Exactly. I don't know.
Maybe I'm classier than Americans. I'm not the basic American. I like flipping the hair that I don't have. But yeah, like, listen,
Yeah.
and you know
So
what's,
it's not cheap in Korea.
yes, and
it's
you know
not.
what's worse when
But now
tourists,
it's okay because the current. I mean, if you're getting
you're
money
doing
from the-
US,
if you're doing
that's
US,
exactly what
if
I
you're
was
getting
gonna say.
paid in US, yes,
I was just about to say that if you're a tourist and you're coming with dollars, you're fine.
yes.
If you're
Spend
coming
it.
with euro, pounds, you're fine.
Yes, but if you're earning money in Korea and everything,
I get paid in Korean won.
uh huh.
Life is expensive, guys.
Yes,
Okay, that's why
yes,
I'm complaining right
yes.
now. I don't get paid in the dollar, but if I got paid in the dollar, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's like
Korea's
what?
so
It's
cheap.
like 1 to 5, right? 1 to 1.5 right
Wow,
now.
right now, the
Yeah.
won is in the floor.
Yeah, come to Korea, please. Yeah.
Yeah, come to Korea now, guys,
Yes,
because the dollar
yes.
is doing amazing. The
Yes,
euro, the
yes,
pound, all
yes.
that. Do you consider yourself Kyopo, right?
What's your definition about Kyopo? Because the kind of from what I know at least, the definition should be like you're ethnically whatever you are, but your passport is not. That's Kyopo.
Oh, so your passport is Korean.
I'm Korean, yes.
Oh, so I guess you would be Korean,
I'm Korean.
but like a westernized Korean. No offense, a westernized
Yeah,
Korean.
the Koreans
Oh.
define it as
Yeah.
유학생. So study people who studied
study
abroad.
exchange, almost student exchange
Yes.
or whatever. Yeah.
Or Kyopo. And there's a fine line between that as well.
That's why you were saying about the girl who was Korean Belgian, but she
She's
didn't feel
Kyopo.
Korean.
She's not Korean.
She didn't feel Belgian
Yeah,
either.
she's-
That's such an
she's not
awkward
Korean.
rule. Yeah.
She's not. She doesn't have a Korean. She has no social security number in Korea. She's she's just Belgian, but she's
Not
she's
really
Asian.
Belgian either because
Yeah.
they don't see her as Belgian. They see her as Korean.
Yeah.
That has to be difficult. And I think that's another thing why I feel like Americans complain about coming to Korea and feeling so different
Mm-hmm.
because I know this is not everybody, but generally I feel like people can go to America and be accepted and nobody be
is
like,
true.
oh, you're Chinese. They'll
Yes,
be like,
because
oh, you're
everybody's
Chinese American,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
Korean
yeah.
American,
It's
I'm
common.
Kenyan American. It's very common, but
in
I
Korea
feel
it's
like,
not.
I feel like Europe. Europe seems like they still see you as
They do.
whatever country you're from.
Yeah.
They'll be like, you're Korean,
Yeah.
you're Kenyan.
Yeah.
No
They-
offense, Europe.
Because obviously the U.S. not all cities,
Not all, yeah.
But-
Oh, some
but-
states are terrible.
but
yeah.
but still like it's all a melting pot.
It's a melting pot.
Everybody's from everywhere, so there's less of like, oh, are you Chinese? Are you Korean?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There's
Like-
plenty of like foreigners, like.
And
Just,
the question, where are you from, is not common in
No,
America
no.
because nobody really cares.
Yeah, yeah.
But in Korea, obviously,
Yeah.
homogenous country,
Yeah.
where are you from is like the biggest question you'll
so
be
for
asked.
example, like I don't even know the guy's name, but the black guy who's very famous nowadays. What's his
Jordan?
name?
Jonathan?
Jonathan. For
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
He doesn't speak English that well, right?
He doesn't speak English at all.
At all.
At
From what
all.
I see on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know
Because
him,
he's
but-
Congolese, yeah.
Yes, and he's Congolese, and he's Korean, 100%.
I don't
never
even
been
consider him
to-
as like Congolese. I'm like, you are Korean.
So
yeah.
he's Kyopo. He's 100%
Oh, Sam, he
Kyopo.
will be Kyopo, yeah.
Yes,
Because
he'll
if I'm
be
not
Kyopo.
wrong, I think the passport is also Korean.
Yes,
because
I
he
think
is
so.
like raised in Korea.
Yes,
Since he
so
was like,
he would have to go to the military, I think. I don't know.
that's when I'll be like, I'm Congolese.
Yes. So as you may know, Koreans are very, very kind of sensitive about the military thing.
They are.
Do you know Steven Yun? Like
The one who was
Yusung
banned?
Jun? Who
He got banned
Yeah.
because he.
He's banned for like 25 years or something like that.
Didn't he
like
come
20
back, though?
No.
Why do I
They're
feel like
never gonna let him back in because he was the usher of Korea like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He
he was a hot deal
he was
back
a hot
then,
deal.
from what
Yes,
I've
yes.
heard.
He's
Yeah.
like he was like the hottest out there. He was earning like scraping in money, like banking money, like you turn on any
Yeah,
channel and
it
he was
him.
there.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then he's a gyopo, so he's not Korean. He's a
Wait,
gyopo.
so why are people mad that he didn't go to the military?
So he's a gyopo. He doesn't have a Korean passport.
Uh-huh.
But Korean guys at least have to choose by a certain age,
Oh, okay.
25 or 30. I forgot the
Oh,
exact
okay.
age.
Yeah, yeah.
And then even if you're a gyopo,
Yeah.
so you have an American passport or whatever non-Korean passport, and you
Yeah.
don't have a Korean passport.
Yeah.
But then Koreans, so that you have to choose.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay, since Korean, my life is in Korea. I earn so much money in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say that, but I got so much love in Korea.
Yeah.
I will do my military service. I will forfeit or give up my U.S. passport, or I will go to the military.
Yeah.
And I will get my Korean passport. And then he
Right.
just ditched the country.
And he just left.
Yeah, he just left
After saying all that.
after saying all that, promising
Why
at the
would you
prime
even
of his
say it?
career. He promised like on TV, 군대 갈 거예요. I'll go to the military. I'm gonna become Korean. I love Korea.
Wow.
And then he just I'm not.
He's like, thank you for the money.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Korean
Okay.
immigration office and everything, they are, even after 20 years, they're not letting him in.
Was that like the first case that has ever happened so publicly?
I don't know like the first case, but first famous, like
Famous
really
case.
famous person.
Wow, being banned 25 years.
20, I think literally 20 years.
And
20
now
years.
Korea's like the place to be and he can't even come.
No, and he's on his YouTube channel. He's like crying and like
Yeah, I've seen
I
it.
spent so much time. I did my punishment. Blah blah blah. You've punished me enough. Still,
And Koreans seem to be like, you still need to spend your full time.
Yeah.
It seems like Koreans are in the government side, not
Mhm.
on his side, from
No.
what I've seen.
Yeah.
This military thing, oh my god. Isn't the exemption if you have like a PhD or if you're studying for a PhD, you have an exception or something
The military
like that?
thing? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not exempted, but if you are either like a doctor or you're
Mhm.
studying to be a doctor, or sorry, in medical school, or
Yeah.
whether if you're doing your master's and PhD, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
you can do what they call industrial agent. So basically, you just work in companies, IT companies.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
And that counts to your military?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I have a very good younger buddy who's like who recently finished his military services in
Yeah.
Crafton, the company that makes the battleground games.
Mhm.
Anyway, so and he was doing his master's. He finished his master's. I think he was about to do his PhD or something like that. He was a software engineer, a mechanical engineer, but he does software engineer as well. And then he applied to as a industrial agent.
Yeah.
And then he needs to work in one of those companies. But some of them are not as nice as like Naver or whatnot.
Right.
Some of them are like manual labor, like you work in factories and stuff. And that's what, but not all of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, but you can utilize that as an option as well.
oh snap!
Yeah.
Oh.
So-
That whole military thing, I'm like, thank God I'm not a man, and thank God I'm not a Korean man. 'Cause
But
that's-
nowadays it's shorter, I think.
I heard it's getting shorter.
I think it's like a year and a half or like something like
It
that.
used to be 2 years,
It used to be 2 years. I
Right?
did 2 years.
and now it's like a few months.
Yeah,
well,
that
not
was
a few.
like,
It's still a
a
long
year and a
time,
half.
but
It's not too bad.
yeah. I have a question. What as a Korean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a Korean that has been abroad and then came back to Korea, what is some advice that you would give foreigners who are in Korea? Let me say, like, for the foreigners who are having a hard time in Korea when it comes to, let's talk careers actually.
Sure.
The foreigners who are stuck in jobs
Mm-hmm.
that are not, the best, like maybe a terrible hagwon
Mm-hmm.
or a terrible teaching job. What is some advice that you would give them as someone who also teaches other foreigners about careers?
In teaching English, as I said, I mean, I was an English teacher before, but I'm pretty sure if you're teaching English in Korea, you have it in the back of your head as well, like, this career may not be, because I get a lot, like, they kind of like, oh, hey, what do you do in Korea? Oh, I'm just an English teacher. Like, I didn't discriminate anything. I just
Yeah,
asked
they're
you a
like,
question.
just English.
Just English teacher. It's like,
Yeah.
they tend to kind of, I don't know, not all of them, but some are not very proud of what they can maybe doing in Korea.
Why do you think that is? Because a lot of English teachers here don't say it in a loud and proud type of way.
Because everybody who graduated or who were born in America or England, I guess, they usually speak English because it's a language.
It's our native language, yeah.
So, and it's not like the biggest skill, I guess. So everybody, and you know, and also it's a relatively easier choice that one can make in their life, and I've also made that choice as well when I was first teaching English, because I took it because it was the highest paying. They pay me the most, basically.
Yeah.
So,
This is my opinion.
Sure.
I think why most foreign teachers don't say loudly and proudly that they're English teachers, it's because it's seen as a really easy career to get into in
Yeah,
Korea.
exactly.
Because you don't have to have a teaching degree. So it's not really like whoa, I'm a teacher, because anybody can be an English teacher. And this is not trying to be like offensive to English teachers, because a lot of them do have a degree
Yes.
for teaching, but it's still seen as an easy career to
Yes.
get into. And this also goes hand in hand with modeling. I'm a model in Korea. Anybody can be a model in Korea. Like
Anybody.
at this point, anybody
Not
can,
anybody.
you know,
Really? No, really?
anybody.
Really?
Like the price has just gone down because, and that's
Oh, I
another
didn't know about the
thing
price.
about English teaching, because now, because everybody can be an English teacher, I feel like the price keeps going down. Same thing with modeling now, because everybody's trying to be a model in Korea. Foreigners are trying to be a model in Korea. The price is going down a lot. So I think that's why it's hard to be like loud and proud. And even for me, it's hard to be like, I'm a model in Korea, because it's not really, it's kind of like not as professional as it should sound. And saying like I'm an English teacher is not as
Yeah.
professional as it should sound.
Yeah.
Because being an English teacher, it's a difficult job.
Yeah.
But when everybody can be an English teacher, then it's seen as a lower job,
Yeah.
because anybody can get it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
No, I think my opinions are similar or same
Okay.
with you.
If you're an English teacher, tell me how y'all feel about that. Like, are y'all able to say I'm an English teacher loud and proud, or do you feel like the market has been tainted a bit because you don't really need the English degree to be a teacher in Korea specifically? By the way, I'm not talking about in your country. In Korea specifically, I think it's just, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I have to complete that with that's my opinion. So people don't take offense to this. I don't want people to take offense to this.
Oh,
Sorry, you didn't finish your thought about the advice you would give people, foreigners.
try to, I don't know. I mean, if you really want to live in Korea, I guess, for any specific reason, like your, boyfriend, girlfriend, or like, whatever, or you just love Korea so much, or try to, obviously, and then obviously you would need to work something,
Yeah.
and then try to find something that you're passionate about. But I don't know. I mean,
It's not easy.
it's not easy.
It's really not easy to get a job, especially a good job.
Yeah,
It's not that easy.
yeah,
And if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But
yeah,
because it's not
Yeah.
everybody can do it.
yeah,
And that's the problem.
yeah.
How has it been you integrating yourself to the foreign? I was about to say market, but that's not the right word. The foreign community.
Yes.
Perfect, Kyle. How has it been integrating into the foreign community as a Korean for you?
I'm one of those people that think Korea should be and has to become more global, because we are on the kind of brink of becoming quote unquote like developed country, or like a leading country of the world, at least before this martial law thing. But in order for us to achieve that, there needs to be we need to either become more global as a community or as a country, in order to do more business in the other parts of the world, but not only for that, even culturally as well, obviously. So I it's kind of my, and as I said, to utilize what I have experienced to the max, I guess, is and for me to give what I have experienced and learned professionally and culturally as well. I think it's in one of my inner duties, or inner like kind of missions, like personal missions, to help people, help the international community become better acquainted and fastly like associate, like go along with the Korean society and community, and like if that's what they want, basically. So, yeah.
Is there anything that you wanted to say that you feel like you have not gotten a chance to say yet?
No, I'm just
Take your
curious
time.
more about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, you also have many non-Korean friends
Mm-hmm.
in Korea, right?
Mostly non-Korean
Mostly
friends, actually.
non-Korean
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like it's quite hard to make friends with Koreans. Like Gyopo's easy, Westernized Korean's easy,
Mhm.
but Koreans it's not really.
When do you hit that kind of like okay?
That wall that
yeah.
that I gave up.
Uh-huh. Or with a person or whatever, like.
I think the second year when that climax came down, like when that,
Oh.
I think that's when I started giving up.
Oh.
When I was just secure in the circle that I had made, and I
Mhm.
didn't feel like I needed to look outside of that circle.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that's when I was like, I'm done here.
Okay.
Because you can only force something for so long.
You don't have to force anything.
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
like
have
it's
to.
like
Yeah.
if you can't make friends with that person, why keep trying?
Yeah.
It's okay.
But I think it's the same even with even a Korean living in Korea or like an American living in America. Like you don't have to be. You can't become friends with everybody.
Facts.
Yeah, and you don't. You should be. At least you should be living your life, not like adjusting yourself to suit
To fit somebody
the
else's,
social
yeah.
needs of other people. I think.
I think back then, there's also this thought that you think that, oh, I'm in Korea, I should have Korean friends.
definitely.
You know, like I
Yeah,
should have this,
yeah,
I should
yeah,
have
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And I think most foreigners who come to Korea think that they should have Korean friends
Yeah.
because they're in Korea.
Yeah.
But you just get to a point where you realize, you don't need them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you really don't need
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Like, you can be okay with just
Yeah.
having foreign friends in your
Yeah.
circle if they're accepting of you.
Yeah.
You know, obviously some Koreans are accepting of foreigners, but don't force anything.
No, and also I think just in general, not being foreigner, Korean, whatever. Like as you age, like you don't lose friends. Like
Yeah.
everybody becomes more busy. Like either with
Yes.
their spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend,
Yeah.
or kids or whatever, or their job, and like
Yeah.
after you're like 30, I guess ish. Like it just naturally comes like humans become more lonely and lonely.
Yeah, and it's just like, get a cat
Get a cat.
or a dog. What is it? I handle my loneliness with my cat. That's my
Are you a
baby.
cat person?
Oh my God, I love cats.
Oh, okay.
I have a cat right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So she helps me with she helped me with my loneliness in Korea. I think I would still be very lonely in the aspect of coming home, there's nobody there, it's quiet. But when I go home now, it's like I have a pet. Like I have to take care of her. She's there. She doesn't even have to speak, but she's there, you know?
But also one way, I guess, to like really dive deep into any like hosting country would be obviously like marrying or having like a boyfriend girlfriend.
Oh, I gave up on that, boo boo. I gave up on my marriage is definitely not happening in Korea. I'm giving up on that.
I mean, you don't have to marry a Korean, but
No,
like
I'm all round. I've given up on it. Not even like the Korean thing. I just don't feel like it's not in my head anymore, you know.
But-
dating does help.
Yes, yes,
100%.
just in general, just in general, yes.
100% it does help.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. If you are able, I'm just over it. Like I feel like a lot of people are still not over it. Wow, that sounded so
what
sad.
do you mean? I mean, you're still I mean, you're an attractive woman, and like
Thank you.
Why are you over? I'm not looking like a 60-year-old time on you right now.
You're not like ew.
Yeah, no.
I just feel like at some point you just get over being disappointed by people.
Really?
Yeah, like I've been
Why?
disappointed so many times in my dating life. I'm just over dating.
Really?
It's like one disappointment after
Why
another.
do you think that is?
Maybe I'm the problem, to be honest.
To be honest.
Damn, Kyle,
No,
you
no.
you were not supposed to agree
No,
to
no,
that.
no, because every problem comes within, even for me. You know what I mean? Not only you. Yeah,
Facts.
yes.
So maybe I am the problem. Maybe I need to look
I'm not- yeah,
within.
yeah.
But I might be the problem, guys. Look at Kyle being my therapist right now.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I am the problem for sure.
Oh.
But it's been hard. Maybe I'm looking like my ideal type is just not what I should be looking for. Maybe that's
Okay.
the problem.
But at least in Korea, were they mostly Koreans or like non-Koreans or?
I've dibble dabbled. That sounds like it's a
Dibble-dabbled.
buffet. Sorry, that sounded terrible. I don't date according to race.
No.
There is one race I don't date though, but we're not going to talk
I'm really
about
curious
that.
about that. But anyway.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But I do. I don't care about their except our race. I don't care about the race. So it's not like I have to have a Korean boyfriend.
Yeah.
I've never been like that.
Yeah.
I have dated foreigners in Korea and I have dated Koreans in Korea. I don't do Koreans though. No offense to the Koreans. So it's not like even a race thing. It's not like Korean men are the problem or foreign men are the problem. At this point, I'm the problem. I am the problem, guys. but yeah, it's like I've tried.
But in those, like in those moments, I think you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
A guy or a girl,
Yeah.
the right one may come up. I don't know.
I hope it comes.
Yes.
God will bring him someday.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
definitely.
like,
I mean,
God got my back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over it. I think the
Really?
older I get, the more tired I get.
Yeah, that's
It's also an effort thing.
That's
like
true.
I date someone, you make one mistake, I retreat.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I can't
Yeah.
deal with that, and I retreat. So,
You
I'm
get
the
more
problem.
impatient.
I am the problem because I am very impatient
And
in dating
because,
right now.
But because also, as you date more men or like whatever
Yeah.
people, you have more categories and like, okay, this is a no and this is a yes, and you can make decisions faster basically.
Yep.
So for example, when you're 17, you needed 6 months to find out this partner is a no for me. But as you get older and like you
Yeah.
have more experience,
Yeah.
when you're 35, you only need 2 dates to make a decision. Because I know
Wow,
and I've been
that's
through
true.
that this kind of whatever happening or whatever
Okay,
gesture
yeah.
or this attitude is not going to
It's
work.
not going to
for me.
work for me.
So it gets less, shorter.
Kyle, that was a great point. Maybe that's why it's not working because I do go on dates actively,
Mm-hmm.
but something always happens that I'm like, I don't see it in me to be able to handle that, and I just back up. Something happens that I'm like, I can't do that. So that's actually a really good point. How has your dating life been? And do you date only Koreans? Do you
No.
not really care?
I don't have a preference nor thing, but
You
even
dibble dabble.
yeah, even for me, like it's difficult to date Korean girls as well, even when I was like younger, because not all Korean girls, obviously,
Yeah.
but comparatively to girls who've spent time abroad, Korean girls have less respect and knowledge for like personal space, for example. So it's in quite a lot of, at least my cases, where like, oh, 오빠 시간인데 your time is my time and my time is your time. Your space is my space and my space is your space.
Yeah.
So it sometimes, but sometimes like I love you, but like I need to spend like 5 hours on Sunday just
Yeah.
not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like it's not that I hate you or I don't want to meet you, but like I need my personal
You need your time.
and space. But I also realize that some girls and guys, they don't have that sense of like personal space and everything, because that's not rooted in the Korean culture or something like that, I guess. I mean, I'm no like sociologist, but like still I could kind of feel the difference between there. So even for me, I think I dated either very international people or some foreigners, as quite a lot of foreigners as well, actually.
Yeah.
Because even for the culture-wise, even for me, even like when I'm home just eating lunch by myself, for example, I don't tend to watch too many Korean dramas. I rarely watch Korean dramas because I can't associate myself with the Korean like mentality and like too much.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I hate Korean dramas. I watch some of them.
Yeah.
But I still watch like Friends and like Big Bang Theory. Like I feel the
There's like a
the
connection
humor
there,
and like
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So but then it's difficult for me to, well, I have to make more effort. It's not difficult. I have to make a little bit more effort to date or to make common grounds or like find enough, common things with like Korean girls, I guess. So yeah, I think I prefer to meet more, like date more Korean, non-Koreans,
More
or
international,
people
yeah.
as well. And that's the thing. I mean, I don't have to go out of my boundaries or make an extra effort to like try to understand what that counterpart or like that my future or my girlfriend wants to or like wants to talk about it and
Yeah.
stuff, I guess. If it's not, it's not.
That's the same thing with me.
Yeah.
But it's the whole dating Koreans as a foreigner, especially. It's crazy that you're Korean, westernized Korean, and you don't even date Koreans. But for me, who's foreign, it's a huge cultural difference. And they're not
Yeah.
willing to understand my culture.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I've always said I don't date Koreans. Because having to bend over backwards for your culture, but you're not bending over backwards for my culture is like, it's unfair.
Yeah, and
You know?
especially like it can work. I mean, if it goes to like marriage or whatever, it doesn't have to. But like, it's not easier for even Korean guys or girls to convince their parents or something like that. Because I remember listening to one of those things, and I remember I've had this experience because my younger sister, she's Korean. She lives in London for the past like 20 years, and she's married to a Swedish guy, but he's ethnically, his mother is Indian Swedish, and his dad is Norwegian Swedish. So he's, but they were high school friends, and then they got.
Oh, I thought they were high school sweethearts.
I think
Okay.
the guy liked my sister in high school, but anyway, so they met again after they graduated. But anyway, so when my younger sister, she got into more deeper talks with my parents in meeting this non-Korean guy. Like my dad, he wasn't like mad, but he wasn't really happy about it in the beginning.
It wasn't an exciting thing.
It wasn't like, yes, he's meeting a
not a Korean
guy. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But he understood. He's not like a crazy Korean.
Yeah.
He's crazy Korean. But
He's
then,
not throwing money at him to leave his daughter.
no.
Leave my daughter.
How much will
alone.
it take for you to leave my daughter?
I'm like, how much you got?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the most exciting thing for him.
Yeah.
But he understood. But do you have a lot of friends who are married to Koreans, or like girls and guys, vice versa, or like?
I have 2 friends who are not Korean but are married to Koreans.
Okay.
But they're both very odd situations. I'll tell you off camera. They're both very
Interesting.
odd situations. They're not like a common situation.
Oh, actually, one of the episodes that I was looking at in your program, I don't know her name, but she was a black lady. She said, Koreans are the black people of Asia. No, I was like, that is
Renee?
so right. I was like,
Renee.
that is so right. Because even, I've read this or something like that, but or it was just some thing on Instagram or something, but it was like, Korean men or girls, they have a good, what do you call it, matching rate with black people. So I was like,
That's actually something she also stated on. And,
Oh,
and I was like,
was it her?
No, she said it in an episode that I did not release because we had audio issues. But she did say that Asian men tend to match a lot better with black women.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a better
Yes,
match rate
yes.
for that. Yeah.
That's because even from the majority of the differences culturally, but like what is rooted in their mothers and their grandfathers and everything,
Yeah,
what comes
very
like
similar,
kind of
yeah.
inside
Yeah.
can be very similar.
Yes. And also, if you look at Asian men, is changing for them. But if you look at how people are rated when it comes to the dating game, black women at the bottom and Asian men are also at the bottom. Asian men are going up. But because of that, if people say like they match better, like black women match a lot better with Asian men. I can't
That's what
agree or disagree, but that's what I've heard.
That's what I've heard as well.
You can chat GPT it for yourself, but that's what I've heard. Yeah, like
But-
those relationships last longer also.
Oh, interesting. But
So
the
I've
dating game, the hierarchy of the dating game, you say, because I know like Asian men were like, as I said, on the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah.
Like you'd get slapped if like a white girl brings like a Korean girl to her house, like for example.
Yeah.
But I also know that like black women as well. I mean, but if you're pretty and like attractive, you're scarcer than the others. So
Yeah.
doesn't it? So it gives a little bit more. What do you call it? Scarcity, I guess. So don't you go like up the ladder?
No. I wish it was a beauty thing. It is not a beauty. It's like a race.
Interesting.
Because I think Korean men are now going up that dating ladder
They are.
because how K-pop is
They are.
perceived.
We're
like
so
now,
lucky.
it's so international. Yeah,
They
but
are.
back in the day, it was
Back
never
in the
like
day
that,
was not.
right?
Yeah.
But for black women, we don't have a reason to move up the ladder yet. I think a lot of people still see black women as the bottom of that ladder. I highly disagree as a black woman, but psychopaths online say we're at the bottom of that ladder. And then white women and Asian women and Latinos tend to be on top of us.
But on top of us.
They're just
But
up there.
also, I don't know who, but another black lady. She said, "But if I go to the Arab Emirates or something,
Dubai.
Dubai, like, whoo,
Yes,
what's
you
up with
shoot
that?
up. It's funny. First of all, she has a boyfriend now. I was
Okay.
like,
Okay.
girl, fuck it up. So now she has a man. But it's certain countries do see black women as like beautiful, like like more respectful than other races. But a lot more countries see black women as undesirable than desirable. is what I've found as a black woman myself.
Is it a cultural thing or like
I think it's just a racist thing.
Racist
Also, there is a lot of sexualization of black women. Like they will see a white woman can twerk and a black woman can twerk. The black woman was seen as sexualized.
I see.
But the white woman, it's like, oh, it's cute. She's trying. Like, look at her trying. But the black woman, it's like, oh, she's a whore. Like it's just like, why is it like that? So it's always like an over sexualization. There's also like black women being seen as ghetto. Like, I don't know.
Interesting.
Being a black woman is work. It's a lot of work, guys.
Interesting.
But I'm like, kudos to Asian men. Y'all moving up the ladder.
Yeah.
Move up that ladder, boo boo. Yeah.
Thank you, Blackpink, and thank you,
BTS. Y'all
Again.
doing it for these
Yes,
people out here.
Exactly.
But I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. But hopefully it'll be different. I don't really care to like chase people to like me. I'm just like, if you don't like black women, that's fine.
Yeah.
Wrestle with your own problems.
Yeah.
Talk to God about it.
Yeah.
I know I'm black and I'm happy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Before we end this episode, is there anything that you wanted to say that you did not get to say? We've been going for like 2 hours.
Wow. Really
Yeah.
fun.
It's a good conversation.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody who's on Paris's channel want to learn more about like Korea on a career kind of level and like I'd be happy to give any advice. So shoot me a message or a DM.
I will leave. I'm sure you'll give me all your details. So I'll leave all his details in the description box so you guys can, shoot him a message, DM him if you have any questions.
Definitely. There's
especially about the coding. If you want to learn something
and,
new.
like starting a career in Korea or starting a startup in Korea. There's definitely ways, and also the visa issues as well. There are stuff that I know from experience as well. So I'll be more than happy to help.
Shoot him a message, guys.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you wanted to say? You can always come back to. I always tell people this. Like, if you go home and think of another topic that you would want to talk about, come on back. We never tell people no. We invite everyone. Yeah, so you can always come back if you want to.
Sure, anytime. If I'm invited, when I'm invited,
I don't have to invite you. You just have to tell me you need to come, and I'm like, okay, come through. Like,
Okay.
I don't even need to give you an invite. Just come back next time.
Okay.
Like once I see a guest once, I'm always like, if you want to come back, just come back.
Sure.
Like I'm open to it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Are you okay with us closing the episode here?
I'm good. I'm
Great. Anyways, guys, that was another episode of Korea Unfiltered. Thank you, Kyle, for coming on the channel.
Thank you so much
That was
for
a
inviting
great
me.
talk. It was supposed to be 1 hour, and things just took a turn, and now we're here. We're 2 episodes in, guys. But anyways, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, click the subscribe button if you have not subscribed. If you are a podcast listener, make sure you give us 5 stars so we can move up in the algorithm. Thank you guys for watching. I like this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys.